Hey there, folks. Before we get started, Brad has something he wanted to talk about. Go for it, Brad.
Hey, gang. This year has been kind of rough, scheduling-wise. So this is the first time I've been on in a while. But I just want to take a minute to mention, I know it's been a while, but to the people that he knew, it's still, I'm sure, very tough. And mention the passing of Vince Rotolo from the Boo Movie Cast. I had emailed Vince way back yonder, and he emailed me back and said he'd listen to the show, keep up the good work, and he put a link to our podcast on his page, which is still there. In fact, maybe you who are listening, maybe you found us through that. I don't know. But just our deep, heartfelt condolences go out to his wife, Mary, Nick, and Juan, his podcasting partners. He has left behind an incredible legacy of podcasting by itself, not to mention the actual life that he led. And we just like to say, rest in peace, Vince. We loved you. We still do. And watch a B movie.
Yeah, he left a huge, huge mark on the community, just apart from putting on a great show. And he also was very helpful to other people's shows, not just sharing links, but even giving advice on the technology that we use to record this stuff. So, yeah, it's someone we never thought would ever not be there. So,
nope. Well said.
All right, folks, on with the show.
You find all this obscene, Sheriff? Do you know what is really obscene? Look at this. Look at the work I've done. This is an art, and I am the artist. What can you remember about a sealed box, a sealed casket? That is obscene. That is the death of memory.
Hello, hello, this is the Doom Show. Richard Brad, Richard Brad, Richard Brad, Richard Brad, Richard Brad, 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 Brad.
Hello, Mrs. Jensen. You don't have any Snickers in your shopping cart. The neighborhood kids love Snickers on Halloween. Let me help you.
I'll give you a hint. It's full of witches and spooks and strange creatures of the night.
Oh, sounds like Hollywood Squares.
We go through this every year. We know perfectly well what holiday it is.
Okay. Happy Halloween, everybody. Whoopie.
Only helping. Snickers.
The one, the only, the classic Halloween.
Hello and welcome to Hello, This is the Doom Show. I am Richard.
I am Brad.
What?
It's me.
I can't even tell you how happy that makes me to hear you say that, and you're not an imitator. You're the real deal.
I'm proud to be here.
Do you want to say it, or do you want me to say it? Which was the last episode you were on? I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It was episode 100! Episode 100!
Very nice. No, I knew it was something big because I was on it.
Hell yeah, you made it big. You're making me big right now.
Whoa, watch it. No, I've had a crappy year, kind of, in a way. So
yeah, you're back. You're fierce.
That's right. 2017, y'all.
Yeah. Folks, happy Halloween. I am so happy to have Brad back on the show.
Thank you very much.
I am very happy to have us talking about Halloweeny stuff. Emphasis on the weenie.
The ween. Dean and Jean Ween.
There's going to be a wolf howl right there.
Nice.
Tell us what you picked for this Halloween season.
I picked underrated cult classic 1981's Dead and Buried, directed by Gary Sherman.
Man. Folks, I'm going to do two things. One, I'm going to give you a spoiler warning, so you should watch Dead and Buried if you haven't already.
Don't Google it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, don't Google it.
No, it spoils it. Actually, the menu for the Blu-ray spoils it. Don't watch the menu.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what
Blue
the hell?
Underground they know better.
Do they, though?
No, apparently not.
Oh, man, this is cheap, too. Dude, you can get Dead and Buried on DVD for super cheap, or you can get the multi-format, also super cheap. Shit. Get that Blu-ray, people.
I believe it was Blue Underground's third Blu-ray that they released, I think.
Really?
I think so.
Nice.
Second or third.
I have the special edition, the DVD, so I have not upgraded that one. I'm perfectly satisfied with the old double discer.
Sure. This was the only format that I had it in, was the Blu-ray. In fact, I bought it 3 years ago and just now watched it for the show, and I was glad that I did.
Nice. And the other thing I was going to spoil is that when you said this was your pick, I said that is a perfect film.
You did.
I mean, for us to talk about for the Halloween season, and I kind of like it.
Spoiler alert.
Of course, because the ad campaign for this movie is awesome. I found an amazing trailer for it, so I'm going to drop Dead and Buried on you right here, folks.
This is the road to Potter's Bluff. Maybe you've been there. Clean, picturesque, full of old-fashioned friendliness. The kind of town everyone likes to visit. This is the road to Potter's Bluff. There is no road out.
Welcome to Potter's Bluff.
From the creators of Alien, terror brought down to Earth, dead and buried.
Is there any way whatsoever to reanimate people after they have died? To get them to walk around?
That guy, the one you came to see me about last week, the one that died after the car wreck.
Yeah.
I just saw him. Man, he's dead. It's the same guy.
Welcome to Potter's Bluff.
When you die, you expect to remain dead and buried.
You had a very close call. Just lie still. I'm gonna give you something. It's gonna make you feel even better.
When you die in Potter's Bluff, expect the unexpected. From the creators of Alien, dead and buried. It will take your breath away. All of it. Dead and buried.
Okay, that was the trailer. My favorite thing in the world is the time I pause between saying, I'm going to play the trailer, and then I pretend that I'm playing the trailer, and Brad and I use our imaginations for seconds at a time.
Yes, and not everyone does that.
Some people fake it. I'm a rake, so I rake it. No, I'm a wraith. I'm a wraithist. That doesn't
you
sound
heard it here first. You heard it here first, folks.
Oh, shit. I forgot the DVD.
That's how we get kicked out of the Legion of Podcasts.
Oh, my God. Bo, no. Don't make me go. That's a ghost. I gotta get the Dead and Buried DVD. Hold on.
All right. This is my favorite part of the show where Richard goes and gets the DVD.
All right. I have it. Here we go. Here's the synopsis from the back of the Dead and Buried limited edition. Oh my goodness. I have number 29823.
Whoa.
Yeah. I was so glad that I got this one because they recalled 29822. That one was bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I read about that in the trades.
I read about it on a web board called Recalled Movie DVD times2.org. Something very strange is happening in the quiet coastal village of Pooper's Bluff. I'm just kidding, it's Pooper's Butt. I'm just kidding, it's Potter's Bluff. Where tourists and transients, especially transients, are welcomed warmly, then brutally murdered. But even more shocking is when these slain strangers suddenly reappear as normal, friendly citizens around town. Now the local sheriff, James Ferrantino, of the Final Countdown, that Blue Underground movie you didn't buy. And an eccentric mortician, Oscar-winning Jack Albertson, in his final feature film performance, must uncover the horrific secret of a community where some terrifying traditions are alive and well. No one is ever really dead and buried. Bam. I'm getting worse at those.
Uh-huh.
Spare my feelings.
No, you did a great job.
Oh, thanks. I said Pooper's butt and Potter's boob or something.
Plumber's butt.
Plumber's butt. Oh, that would be an even better scenery.
I had time to think about it, though. You had to spur the moment.
You got to ponder the meaning of life while I rambled as usual. You're like, why am I wasting my time? I could be watching Matlock right now, bitches.
Hey, I mean, that's what I'm usually thinking. That lawyer show.
Leetta's watching Murder, She Wrote right now.
My brother is there with her in spirit. Not really, he's not dead.
Okay, thank God. He has that song about him.
Yep.
Awesome. The film opens with a black and white picture of a old-timey looking village, and suddenly it fades into color and everything starts moving, along with Joe Renzetti's score for this movie, which is amazing.
Yeah, I like the score quite a bit.
What else did that Joe Renzetti guy do? I wonder. He's got an Italian name, but that makes me think he's not Ennio Morricone. Hey.
He was born in Philadelphia.
Oh, shit. Did the music to Child's Play and Poltergeist 3. That'll come up again later. Oh, man. Frankenhooker. Oh, The Exterminator.
John Carpenter's Elvis movie.
Nice. Awesome.
Says here he was the house guitarist for Cameo Records, and he played on Let's Twist Again.
That was him? What a legend.
He arranged Mandy by Barry Manilow.
Oh, God. Which always makes me think of Can't Hardly Wait.
Man.
I'm telling you, I'm a nerd.
Did you see the box office on this?
It was terrible.
Terrible.
This movie cost $3 million to make. And I don't know what it grossed overseas because they don't report on that, but it made over $200,000.
How does that even happen?
Because this movie's too good.
Too good for theaters.
I do talk about, in some of my trivia, I have about the distributors of this movie, because they should be, in jail for screwing things up. There was some confusion about what kind of movie this was going to be in mid-production, so we'll get into all that later. We see a photographer who arrives in his VW bus. Damn hippies. Ugh, yuck. As he's taking pictures on the beach, he spies a lovely lass. We see her feet first, so I thought it was a foot fetish film. It freaks me out, man.
That guy has been in one of your favorites.
Yeah, that's Christopher Allport, and he's going to play Two Names guy, which didn't help my notes any. Yes, he was in something I really liked a lot. It was Jack Frost and Jack Frost 2. No, I can't remember. What was he in?
Savage Weekend.
Oh my God. I'm such a jerk. Yes, thank you, sir. He's like one of the best things about that frickin' movie.
Yes.
God, he looks so different from then till here, so I didn't even pick up on it. He's also not playing a hilariously unstereotypical gay stereotype.
True.
You see what I did there? It's conflicted.
I did.
Just like me.
I'm conflicted.
So yeah, that is Christopher Allport, like we said. He's playing someone who's going to be named Freddy for a moment. And then later, the lady is Lisa Blount. And she looks like she had the stylist for Sean Young in frickin' Blade Runner. She looks like a very pretty mannequin. She starts to flirt with him, and we get the most... What was that? I think Leetta just got scared by the ghosts.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
It's not my brother.
Oh, Ben. There is some saxophone music that is pretty freaking awesome. Like, ooh. The first thing they do is they don't exchange real names, which leads to terrible things. She says, "You look like a Freddy." And he calls her Lisa, because she looks like a Lisa.
Which she is Lisa.
She's just being friendly by changing her name to fit the situation.
My name is...
No, wait. Let me guess. You look like a, Fred.
Oh.
No. Let's see. Freddy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you look like a Freddy.
All right. Okay. I'll be Freddy, and you can be... Lisa. I always wanted to meet a Lisa.
That's a really pretty name.
Lisa, you're a very pretty lady.
Her smile is really disturbing, dude.
Mm-hmm. You know what else she's in.
Let's see. Lisa Blount was also in the amazing Blind Fury with Rutger Hauer.
Mm-hmm.
And Prince of Darkness.
Yes.
Oh, my God. She's also in something that sounds amazing called Annihilator. It's a TV movie. Has the most amazing cover art. It's like a cyborg woman with a big old piece of her face ripped off, and there's circuits underneath. It looks great. I'm going to find that.
Wow.
And she's also in Cut and Run, which is a childhood trauma movie of mine.
Really?
Yeah. But nothing's as traumatizing as Blind Fury.
Mm.
Whew, that movie's terrible. Speaking of tone problems. Prince of Darkness, man. Whew, I've been too scared to watch that. I haven't watched that in years. That movie scares me.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Her boobs pop out because he tells her, "You could be a Playboy model." And she's like, "All right, I'm a model, boobs." And she asks if he wants her. And before he can take her, all of a sudden a bunch of thugs come out of nowhere. And as they're beating the living shit out of Freddy, they're filming and taking photos of it.
Mm.
Weird. They tie him in nets. Someone says, "Welcome to Potter's Bluff," and then they set him on fucking fire. Man, we call that a Tampa welcome.
Is that what happens?
Yes, but only on the first of the month, because its rent is due.
Right.
Basically, that movie, The Purge Anarchy, that's just Tampa.
That's just Tampa on the weekend.
Yep. We cut to a vehicle overturned that night. It's a car accident. And we finally get to frickin' James Ferrantino. Come on. This is Sheriff Dan Gillis. I do not know this guy, Ferrantino, from anything I can think of off the top of my head. Do you know him from anywhere?
Let's see.
Big time TV actor, right?
Yeah, he's in the Final Countdown, which is funny because you mentioned that already. And I've always thought he looks kind of like, is it Starsky from Starsky and Hutch or Hutch? The one that's not David Soul.
I don't know. Yes. I know the show never could separate the two men. They're too close of lovers.
That's right.
But yeah, he was in everything. Everything on
stuff.
Television. Holy shit.
Of course, he has passed away.
Yeah. He was in that TV movie, The Possessed, that looks really good.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I've not seen that. That's an Exorcist ripoff of a television variety.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, man. I'm down. I'll have to add that to my Anything But the Exorcist Moviethon when I do it.
There you go.
Sheriff Dan is investigating this accident, and for some reason, Freddy Krueger's there.
Mm-hmm.
I like that Robert Englund is just all over this frickin' movie. So good.
Mm-hmm.
He is waiting, Dan is waiting for Dobbs to show up. And of course, Dobbs, as mentioned on the back, is Grandpa Joe.
Yeah.
Jack Albertson, Grandpa Joe himself.
As soon as I get my strength back, I'm going to get out of this bed and help him.
Dad, in all the years you've been saying you're going to get out of that bed, I've yet to see you set foot on the floor.
Well, maybe if the floor wasn't so cold.
I did not know it was him, and I didn't even know it this time when we watched it until Elizabeth said, "And it's Grandpa Joe." And of course, we watched Willy Wonka last week. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's a transformative performance. He's playing a completely different type of character.
Mm-hmm.
And Dobbs is an old man. He's got Coke bottle glasses, listens to jazz. He cranks it up so it's like death metal to him. And he seems to listen to the same jazz record over and over again. And Lietta and I were breaking our brains trying to figure out what the song he likes to listen to a lot is. If it's not like 3 or 4 songs, but I want to say something like Sentimental Journey, any of those old standards like that.
Mm-hmm.
He is the county coroner, or the town's coroner, and the body of this burned man is good old Freddy, and he's hanging from the this twisted wreckage that was VW bus. And man, this is why I wish I could forget that scares were coming. Because this scared the crap out of me when I bought this Blu-ray. When I bought this DVD back in 2003. Because I completely forgot that the body just screams. It's this gnarly looking burnt up corpse that shouldn't be alive but still is. And that scream, ugh, holy shit, dude. They don't make them like this anymore. We cut to Danny hanging at the diner. He's hanging with the boys. And this just character actor central, man. Holy shit.
It really is.
Oh my god. Barry Corbin is there. Oh my god, I love this guy. He is so great. 203 credits. Get out of here.
It's ridiculous.
Ugh, amazing. They're teasing Dan because he has a fancy degree. Who does he think he is, this master's degree in criminal science?
Yeah.
Thinks he's too good for us. Bastard.
Dan, old buddy, with the fancy salary the city of Potter's Bluff pays you and the amount of money the state spent getting you educated, you ought to be able to find some clues.
If you can't solve a traffic accident, what are you going to do if a crime happens?
Very funny.
Now, boys, don't be riding Danny here too hard. He's apt to leave this town. We're lucky to have him. He's got a, master's degree in criminology. Big city's fighting over him. And he comes back to his old hometown to help the poor folks out.
That's right. You people are very lucky.
So we get another stinger here. The lady, not Nurse Lisa, but the lady who actually set Freddy on fire, she lit the match. She's a waitress at the diner. And I'm like, fuck, man, background check? Jeez.
Really?
Like, did you even look to see if she was a pyromaniac? No.
Mm-mm.
And now we cut to one of the most important things about this movie, and that is the nighttime atmosphere of Potter's Bluff.
Yes.
Holy shit, dude. How does the Blu-ray look?
Blu-ray looks pretty good.
Because this is some foggy, murky, and very, very spooky shit.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, I love it. We have a drunken buffoon, and he is just drinking and walking around, being a frickin' sort of a charming Andy Griffith type of character until he gets myrtleated.
Myrtleated.
The townspeople just kill the shit out of this guy. There's some funny stuff later about changes that were made to this movie that Gary Sherman wasn't too happy about, and this is one of them. So he gets his throat slashed and face cut open. It's just really super graphic. Next up is a really bad pot joke.
Yeah.
Jimmy, the town ginger, who works for Dobbs. He's kind of like Dobbs' assistant. Dobbs spills the beans about his marijuana that he smokes right in front of Sheriff Dan. It's very awkward for Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy is played by Glenn Morshower, who is Aaron Pierce on 24, Secret Service agent, and he plays a lot of military types. He was in X-Men First Class and just several things. And this is the youngest that I've ever seen him. Actually, he's a favorite of ours. He pops up. Let's see, he was in Supergirl, the TV show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., The New Dallas, NCIS, Transformers, Dark of the Moon.
Jeez.
The Crazies, he was in the remake of The Crazies, but he's just a quintessential, hey, I know that guy.
No doubt. 205 credits.
He's been working.
Good on you, Jimmy. Don't let the pot slow you down, people.
That's right.
Or maybe the pot is the secret to his success.
It could be.
It's always 420 somewhere.
That's true.
I wish it was true. Anyway,
Don't cry.
Dobbs gets to give a frickin' super passionate monologue about the work that he does as a embalmer. Dieter gets really wound up because nobody appreciates what he's doing. So I'm going to play that monologue for you right now because it's awesome.
Mrs. Collins proved to be a little more difficult than I'd anticipated.
Why should she be any trouble? She died in her sleep.
Poor Mrs. Collins. She looked as though she'd been in a fist fight.
So you put on a lot of makeup?
A lot of makeup? A lot of makeup would be appropriate for the final viewing of a streetwalker. The deceased was, I believe, a retired music teacher.
Congratulations.
No, officer, this is child's play. I've replaced missing eyeballs with sawdust and glued the lids together. I've used bent aluminum combs for dentures. I've used the back part of the scalp when there was no front part. And I folded one hand over wadded-up newspapers when the other hand had no fingers. You find all this obscene, Sheriff? Do you know what is really obscene? Look at this. Look at the work I've done. This is an art, and I am the artist. What can you remember about a sealed box, a sealed casket? That is obscene. That is the death of memory. The cosmetologist gives birth. I make souvenirs.
Around this scene, they think that maybe that accident wasn't an accident after all. Dun, dun, dun. So they find the body on the docks, and good old Dan starts his investigation. He starts to look into who this Freddy guy was. So he asks, and this is actually really important, he asks the guy who was renting Freddy a room in town about him. He tells Danny that, or Dan, sorry, I'm going to call him Dan or Danny because, you know, his wife calls him Danny. He is informed that his wife had been talking to this stranger. Strange. So he immediately goes home and we meet his wife, who is played by Melody Anderson. Where do we know her from, sir?
Flash Gordon?
Yes.
She played Dale Arden?
Yeah, so awesome. For some reason, I thought I'd seen her in like a ton more stuff, but those are the two things.
She just looks familiar. I don't know if it's,
totally.
You know, I don't know if it's what it is, but she was on Jake and the Fat Man. Oh, I know. She was on one episode of Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, snap. Which means I've seen her like 3 or 4 times because I probably watched that episode.
That's right. Exactly. She was on the TV series Manimal. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember Manimal. Woo! Amazing.
Yep.
So when she's asked how she knows this guy who was killed, Janet says that he was going to sell some camera equipment to the school because she's a teacher at the local school, and she's really freaked out that this guy has been in this horrible accident. Like, she's really strangely upset about it. Like, not normal. You wonder if there's something more going on between her and this Freddy guy. We found out his real name was George Lemoyne. La 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 la, losing my place in my overly complicated notes. The next day, the principal runs into Dan, and he immediately contradicts Janet's story, and I said, "Uh-oh,
Reggie."
So Dan goes to the hospital to inquire about George. We got some creepy hospital stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly, this guy, George / Freddy, he is a mummy with one eye and a mouth. Still really sexy.
Totally.
And while he is talking to Doc, the doctor is Joseph Medalis? I don't know if I recognize this guy.
Kentucky Fried Movie.
Oh, shit.
Brewster's Millions.
Wow, this guy, it's like, God, this character actor is like locusts on the town.
I'm telling you.
This is amazing, yeah. He was in Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo playing additional voices. Remember them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was some of my favorite episodes.
Additional voices. While the doc and Dan are talking about George, they foolishly leave him alone so that Nurse Lisa, which is just Lisa in a nurse's outfit,
right?
She's going to make it all better. The moment that George / Freddy sees her, he goes a little crazy, gets very worked up, as you can hear his heartbeat beating, and then she stabs him in the frickin' eye with a hypodermic needle that kills him.
Oh, it's so rough.
Man, they really went all out. I mean, there's a lot of gore in this movie, and I like this scene, but this is not my favorite of the nasty stuff that's going to happen in this movie.
Right.
And it just makes me think of good old Faceless by Jess Franco, because there's a needle to the eye in that too.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Destination nowhere.
Franco did it first, 6 years later.
Right?
He's such a genius, that Jess Franco. Am I right?
Yes. Especially in the late 80s.
Oh, man. Especially the mid-pornos. Oh. At the cemetery, Dan and Dobbs are arguing about the identity of George. I had some trouble figuring out what exactly he was arguing about. I think Dobbs was mad he didn't get to work more. He didn't get to restore, because that's his big thing, is he loves to restore these people who were killed to look better than they looked in life. And of course, they buried George without doing any of that stuff, so he's all mad about it. There's a great line where Dan talks about the town no bigger than a postage stamp. I'm going to play that line now, because it's a great line of dialogue.
You know, Dobbs, sometimes you make me sick. Sick? You bring me a body that smells like burnt steak? You force me to keep it till it begins to rot, and then you have the nerve to tell me that I make you sick?
2 murders, Dobbs! Both strangers. 2 murders in a town no bigger than a postage stamp. Now you leave me the hell alone.
So, back at home, Janet is acting even less like a human being. Dan is very upset about all the murders and the terrible things that seem to be happening in the town. And Janet's like, hey, did you drop off that film for me, dude? I got the film. Did you do that? And she's so disappointed that he didn't do it. She doesn't give a shit about him. It's awesome. The film is actually important. This was filmed by her class. Her class made a little film that she's teaching them about, I don't know, movie making?
Teaching them about narrative.
Oh, I like it. Those damn millennials, all they know is their cell phones.
Yeah, really. Oh, I hate young people. I hate them.
Oh my god, I hate when they're playing Angry Pokemon Bird Go.
Yeah.
Playing their Mario Brothers. Ugh, can't stand it.
Pong. Ugh.
Assassin's Creed. Bastards.
Call of Duty 78.
Ugh, too much war, not enough killing.
That's right.
Let's make them play that Jason game.
I've heard good things.
I don't want to play as Jason. I want to play as people trying to stop Jason. Is that weird?
No.
I don't know. I like, there's something weird about playing as Jason. I don't know. I don't like being the object of my sexual attention. Know what I mean, Brad?
I do.
Yay!
I've had to deal with it for quite some time now.
Thank goodness.
It's a tough road to hoe.
So, a family who are going to fucking die horribly, although actually off camera for a change. A family pulls into good old foggy Potter's Bluff to ask for directions. They hopefully have lots of life insurance with wills to their families. And their kid looks evil. What the hell?
He does.
Oh my god, this kid is so freaky. He looks like a combination of John from City of the Living Dead and God, what was that other movie with the evil looking little kid? Oh no, I dropped the ball. I can't remember. Anyway, it was a really awesome reference that made Brad like really go, "Wow, Richard, that was awesome."
Yeah, that was a great, good looking out.
Hey, thanks, man. I didn't know I'd really pull that one off.
You did.
So we see that Freddy is the gas station attendant. He looks not burnt alive. He looks very handsome again.
Yeah, he's dressed up in like a 1950s gas station attendant getup.
Yeah, everyone in this town is so retro.
Yeah.
So the couple ends up more lost thanks to the directions of the shitty townspeople. Something runs in front of the car. They wreck the car, and the kid bangs his head, which is funny because, you know, kids are terrible. They find what they think is a house with people in it. So they go up to it and no one answers the door. So they just go inside. The husband remarks to the wife, "This house rates at creepy factor level 6. That's a direct quote from the movie.
Yes. I love the dropped narration. and the family finds their way to Creepy House.
Level 6. So while the husband is exploring the basement, because, they can't turn the lights on, he figures, it's just going to be a fuse problem in the basement. Meanwhile, while the mother and the kid are looking around the house, there's figures creeping in the window. Ugh, so freaking scary. And then someone bursts in through the window, and welcome to Potter's Bluff.
Wow. Outstanding.
And these fuckers are everywhere. There's people just piling into this house. And I want to quote a friend of the show, Simon. He would call this nightmare fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the first page of notes.
Simon's been on the show.
Yeah, he has. He's going to be back again, too.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Love me some Simon.
I'm telling you, he is the one man. Yep.
His voice sounds like a buttery, flaky biscuit dream.
Oh, I know.
It's perfect.
I just love those frickin' South African people. Where's Simon from? Where's he from?
Is that where he's? No, he's from jolly old England.
He's from pre-America.
Yeah. America, the first part. Old America.
The superior version.
In any event, I do love me some Simon.
Yeah, man. He's the bomb. All right. Let's take a break from Simon.
Just for a minute.
While they manage to escape the house, and they're being menaced by the lady in the car with them, who grabs the kid. They manage to wrestle with this lady, and they accidentally scalp her because her hair isn't attached to her skull so good.
Mm.
And they do gun it out of town after they ditch the lady, who's now on the hood of their car, smashing it. And you think that maybe they got away? No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Negative.
Dan, who is watching their car fly through the streets of a foggy night in Potter's Bluff, tries to follow. Ends up running over a dude, which is a standout, amazing scene because the guy runs off, leaving his arm stuck in the freaking grill, wiggling.
Mm-hmm.
He grabs his own arm and runs away with it. It's funny. Folks, I think it's time for a commercial break. We'll be right back after these messages. Oh my God, there's a ghost.
Oh.
We'll be back after these messages from our sponsors. These people gave us money.
It's 1998. One teacher is living in fear.
My brother killed my sister.
How did he do that?
With a really big kitchen knife.
Now, the face of good and the face of evil will meet one last time. But this time, it's going to be a fight to the finish. Halloween H2O. Rated R. Wednesday, August 5th at a theater near you.
Igor.
This Halloween, when you stock up on Pepsi and Doritos, you'll find coupons for savings on Hershey's candies. It's the perfect recipe for a...
Wicked.
Here's something to howl about. This week at Florida Supermarkets, specially marked Pepsi-Cola 2 liters are just 89 cents.
Halloween's coming. What are you going to do about it? Whether you do a little or a lot, be an original this Halloween and find yourself at Hallmark.
Hallmark has a way.
And at participating Hallmark stores, get your hands on the Spooky Sounds tape, full of creepy sounds and Halloween theme songs. $1.95 with any $5 Hallmark purchase, only at participating Hallmark stores. It's a scream.
Okay, we're back from our commercial break. I'm going to buy all those Halloween products.
I already own them.
Damn, you're so rich.
Because I'm dedicated.
You were rich, now you're poor because you bought all that stuff, you silly.
Yeah, I'm broke now. Can I borrow some money?
Yes. I'm emailing you money now. And send.
Received.
So Dan is getting pretty freaked out, so he's at home looking for some extra bullets. While looking for bullets in a drawer, he finds a book on witchcraft and a sacrificial dagger.
Yeah, well, I mean, you do that sometimes.
What the hell are you doing with these?
It's for my class. I'm going to give a lecture in witchcraft.
Witchcraft? And why in God's name would you want to teach him that?
Kids love creepy things. Keeps them from being bored in my class.
So you pick witchcraft.
Oh, come on. Hold on. Who is this? Here we go. Hello?
Hello, is Lita Schmidt available?
May I ask who's calling?
Yes, this is from ADG Research.
Just a minute.
Thank you.
No, she just left. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Who is calling at 8 o'clock on a Thursday night?
Do you guys have a landline?
No.
And that's why.
Yeah.
It never fucking ends, dude. Never ends. All right.
Yeah, I believe it.
So when he shows her this sacrificial dagger and this book of witchcraft, Janet hilariously is like, "That's for my class. I'm teaching my students about witchcraft. Did you drop off that film, asshole?"
Negative. Oh, double entendre.
Oh, I like what you did there. That was good.
Thank you.
So Dan, the next day, drops off the film. Fucking asshole. He gets a call from good old Robert England, who's, I don't think I even said his name. He's Harry. Did that clear things up? Good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Certainly does.
They found a late model station wagon in the water, on the shore. So we know that family is dead. Dan takes some skin samples from his grill, and I don't mean his teeth.
His grill.
Oh, yeah. He has his pal Doc look at these things, and then this guy from earlier, the guy, he was the one who owned the place where George/Freddy was staying. He shows up. He is completely freaking out. Spoiler alert, this guy's not in on it, all right?
No.
He has seen the dead guy pumping gas at the gas station. George has now become Freddy, the gas station attendant. It is amazing, and I'll play this little clip right here because it's just too funny. His reaction is just great.
Sit down, man. What's wrong?
That guy. The one you came to see me about last week. The one that died after the car wreck.
Yeah.
I just saw him.
Ben, what are you talking about?
He's over at Norman Station pumping gas.
Ben, he's dead.
You go over there and take a look.
I never got to look at his face, Ben. Obviously, it's a guy who looks just like him.
It's the same guy.
Ben,
Dan, I was standing right next to that man, and it's
calm
him.
down.
You ask your wife.
It's like he really thinks there's a connection there between Janet and this George/Freddy guy, and that she'll recognize him when she sees him. So Dan goes to school to see Janet teaching some creepy shit to these kids.
She actually says The Walking Dead.
She was way ahead of her time.
Way.
You want to hear the really creepy part? Okay? In order for the master to retain the control over the souls of his undead, he had to cut out their heart and keep it hidden.
What I like about this scene is that the whole time you're thinking her kids are high schoolers. No.
Your little creepy kid is actually in her class now.
Yep. He's been transplanted to Potter's Bluff like they like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And yikes, he is eating up that black magic talking.
Boy, howdy.
So after class is out, he takes Janet to the gas station, and she doesn't respond to Freddy like he thought she would. So he kind of puts it in the back of his mind, maybe. And now we get a hitchhiker picked up by a goofy guy who we think could be the bum who got slaughtered at the docks earlier.
Yep.
Is it just me, or does this whole sequence not remind you of a really talky version of the Friday the 13th?
Absolutely.
Hitchhiker situation.
Absolutely. And it doesn't do anything to further the plot, really.
No.
It's almost like it's just a gore scene added in.
Yeah. She is very happy to have a ride until Mr. Goofy Guy starts taking pictures of her, and then she's pulled out of the car, and the gang, as I'm calling them, the Good Time Gang, film and take pictures, and then crush her big ass, They crush her face with a big-ass rock.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know what they did to her ass. That's a different movie. So now we have her corpse in Dobbs' little mortuary here, and we get to see Dobbs work his magic.
It is indeed magic.
Wow. This is crazy. You know how when they rebuild old cars, they strip them down to the chassis and then rebuild from there? He does this with her fucking face.
Yeah. And in fact, and I won't mention who did the effects because I'm sure we're going to talk about that later.
Oh, yeah.
But you see what looks like to be an edit cut, perhaps, or where they wheeled the dummy out and the actress in, and he goes to her lips and are touching them up, and then he lifts her eyelid and there's nothing in her eye, but I would have sworn it was the actual actress, and it's not.
It is a... what do you call it? A matte shot or something like that?
I think it's still the dummy, right?
Really? Wow. I have no idea. It's
well, because he takes the hook and hooks her eyelid and pulls it open, and there's nothing in there.
Yeah. The music in this part's really great too. It's just like a combination of the creepy stuff and the old timey jazz music. It's so good. I think this is my favorite of all the gore stuff in this movie. It's just
It's real good.
Another masterpiece, completed beautiful. Now you can sleep peacefully.
After he's done doing his restoration work, someone with black gloves shows up and does a thingy. We don't know what they do. Right. I think maybe it was some kind of inheritance scheme or a psychosexual killer. I don't know.
Hard to tell.
But the hitchhiker wakes up, and she is got her glamour moment like, hello! It's so good. Later, the doc calls Dan to tell him that the skin cells from his grill were several months dead. So, this confuses Dan, since it just happened.
Right.
And then, while Doc is investigating the samples, we find out that he is also not in on it. And he gets acid pumped up his nose by the Good Time Gang.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is not the best gore effects.
No, but I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah, what really makes the scene freaky for me is the sound design. The sounds that they have him do, the actor do, they dub in as he's dying are so haunting and just, it's like really unsettling shit.
Very.
Ugh.
Very.
So, as the acid is pumping into his face, it's just like running out of his cheeks and everything. He dies. You know what would have been really great?
What?
Is if he'd just fallen on the floor, and then the acid poured on his head, and then his redheaded daughter ran in and just screamed and watched it happen.
Yes, that would have been awesome.
That's a little movie called House by the Cemetery. Just kidding. That's a little movie called Demon 6. No, I was making a Beyond joke. Now I took it beyond humor.
Into the realm beyond humor.
Where nothing's fucking funny anymore. Anyway, so Dobbs is very upset about the missing body of the hitcher, and he flips out and starts yelling about his reputation, doesn't want Dan to tell anybody, just go find the body. He also tells Dan that Janet was there asking him about black magic. He's like, I just embalm people. What do I know about black magic?
Nothing.
Which, I'm sorry, you can't get a degree in embalmation without black magica.
No.
I just made up a bunch of words.
Yeah.
Dan gets a telex, which was email in 1981.
Exactly.
About George, and there was some malfeasance with the body. I could not get this part. Seriously, I rewound it twice, and I walked over to my TV and I put my head next to the speaker, and Dan is mumbling what's on the telex. I have no idea what's going on.
Is this about Dobbs?
No, this is about George's body.
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't even gotten the info about that yet.
Yeah, I don't recall off the top of my head.
I
had
no
the subtitles
clue.
on, though.
Dan goes to see Dobbs. He walks into the office, and he catches Jimmy masturbating over a corpse.
Right.
No, I wrote something else in my notes. Oh, and I'm sorry. Jimmy is putting some cadaver makeup on his arm. I don't know how I got the other thing.
Let me tell you, here's a little part that I thought was really cool, is that when you see, Jimmy's a redhead.
Right.
And when you see what it is, the name on the little jar of makeup, it says pale. And I thought, wow, what a nice little touch.
That's awesome.
Because, redheads typically have pale skin.
I think Dan's just being really judgy here. I mean, maybe the guy has a blemish. Leave him alone.
Yeah, really. He's smoking pot. He's going to school.
Okay, so here comes an actor that I did not realize it was who I thought it was. This blew my mind when I was looking at the cast list later. Dan wants to dig up George/Freddy's body. He goes to Sam, the gravedigger. Did you see who this frickin' gravedigger is, dude?
I did indeed. Please tell us.
It is Michael Pataki, one of my favorite actors. Holy shit.
How many times I ask him to ride with me, he says no.
Folks, I won't say what movie, but Michael Pataki will be back on this show, I promise.
Really?
Oh, yes. Very much so. Sam wants Dobbs' permission, and Dan's like, dude, let's just do this. There's a great moment. Dan goes back to the mortuary to look for Dobbs, doesn't find him, and the moment he leaves, one of the drawers, I don't know what he called them, the corpsey drawers?
The corpsey drawers, I think, is the technical term.
Thank you. Corpsey drawer opens real slowly, and of course the sheet pulls back, and Dobbs is like, what? Was somebody calling me? It's so good.
Yes, where I live. Don't judge me.
This is my home. This is a very, very creepy scene, and I know that maybe it wasn't supposed to be creepy, it was supposed to be funny, I don't know, but I love it.
Certainly.
They open up the grave, and of course, there's only a heart in it. Just a heart wrapped in George's clothes, which I don't know how George had clothes left after being set on fire, but whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Dan is now on to this weird conspiracy, or so he thinks. He photographs Freddy in a very awkward moment that I love. He just rolls up. Freddy goes to pump some gas. He just takes pictures of him and drives on. It's good stuff. That's called an unselfie.
Right.
So he goes back to the police station and has Betty, the secretary of the police station, to call the state police about Dobbs and to send them a photo of Freddy. Finally picks up this damn film. Jeez.
Yeah, what has he been doing?
The kids are waiting on their special movie, Brad. Special movie.
Yeah. He's just the sheriff.
Not doing anything all day. Not in Potter's Bluff.
No.
Fucking, it's only as big as a postage stamp.
Exactly. Everyone's dead.
Case solved. Good job. Good job.
Oh, that was funny.
He runs into Doc, who has a non-acid face, and he's very confused by Dan's theories. So he goes back to the police station, and they get the scoop on good old Dobbs. Apparently, Dobbs got fired for playing with corpses.
Mm-hmm.
And not the way I like to play with them, a different, more sick way. I just like to dress them up and have parties, because I'm so lonely.
Yeah, they did that a lot in the early 80s.
Yep. That's all he needed. So Dan goes home, and he puts on the film, and he turns it on, and we finally get some found footage.
Mm-hmm.
Man, oh man, this is some awesome found footage in a film.
Yes, it is. Yes, absolutely.
If you took just this part and isolated it, it would be so creepy. I love it. We see that they're going up to the house, and there's a woman having sex with a guy, and it's clearly Janet. And all of a sudden, all these people start coming out of the woodwork, including good old Nurse Lisa. This guy is being stabbed repeatedly with that good old sacrificial dagger, or was it a regular knife? Maybe a regular knife. Dan is very upset. He confronts Dobbs at the mortuary. And I wrote in my notes, oh, fuck. Because this shit is crazy. Here's our big reveal. Dobbs admits that Janet is one of his special people. He found her drowned and restored her, and he gave her some special qualities. He gave her, like, the ability to love and to have sex, to feel fear or something. Like, he made her like a real boy, like Pinocchio.
Exactly.
Janet, I found her in Harris Creek in her car. She had drowned.
Crazy. They're totally insane.
Not even her injuries or her bloated condition could hide her beauty. Yes, she was. She is. Like all the others. Like that man you ran over in your car. He was dead long before you hit him.
How do you do it?
Call it black magic. Call it a medical breakthrough. I'll take my secret to the grave.
Oh, my God.
I gave it to you as a gift. No. Most of the others, I gave back a little of their lives. But to Janet, I gave her fear and sex and love. The others would fall apart in a week if I didn't touch them up. But Janet could go 3 weeks, a month. The others, drawings. Janet was a painting. My masterpiece.
This is one of those just pit of your stomach, like, like, man. And I have to hand it to good old James Ferrantino. He is really, as an actor, portraying this very well. Could be a little over the top, but it's insane. So
yeah, I thought he was really good right there.
Janet comes in, and she's acting like the same character she's been through the whole movie, his wife, talking about, what to pick up from the store and just little household things. She's not even reacting to the fact that there's a film playing behind him of her stabbing someone to death. Like, she's just chill. So he totally blows her away. He starts shooting her, and it is the most depressing fucking moment in the movie, dude.
No doubt.
Ugh. She takes about 3 or 4 shots before she realizes that she's not alive, and she asks Dan to bury her, and it's so depressing.
Yeah, it is.
I cannot express enough how this movie will not lift your spirits.
No, and I think it leads to an even more depressing part coming up.
It does.
Yeah.
He confronts Dobbs, and he shoots him, and then he leaves to follow Janet, who's in the graveyard, and then he gets to bury his wife while she's still alive.
Yeah.
Well, alive, quote unquote. Man.
She actually shovels the last bit of dirt over her own face.
Oh my God. This is one of the darkest moments in the history of this podcast, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not just talking about Prom Night 4. No, I'm sorry, the Prom Night remake.
Yeah. Ugh.
Shit, how dare I fucking disparage the amazing Prom Night 4? Damn it.
Janet!
Oh, bury me. Please. Please, Dan.
So Dobbs starts spinning on the wheels of steel. He's all shut up and he starts scratching some records. He plays that same record he's been playing through most of the movie, which I still cannot find what the hell that song was. Thanks for not helping, credits or IMDb or Wikipedia. If you know what piece of music he's playing, please let me know. Jeez. He decides to embalm himself, which if that skill, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
My Uncle Jim did that, but he was trained in the art.
Exactly. Voodoo. Black magic.
Hoodoo?
Hoodoo.
The man with the power? What power? The power of voodoo? Hoodoo? I messed it up. I don't know how that goes.
Hey, you remind me of a man.
What man?
The man with the power.
What power?
The power of hoodoo.
Hoodoo?
You do.
Do what?
Remind me of a man.
What man?
The man with the power.
Good morning.
Here comes the town meeting at Janet's grave. Dan is freaking out after, burying his wife. The whole town shows up with cracks in their faces as they're falling apart. Apparently, they couldn't all be masterpieces like Janet, so there's a lot of crumbling people looking all crunked up.
Yeah.
I actually really don't like this scene.
Well, basically, after he buries Janet, the rest of that scene is kind of filler.
Yeah, because the whole time that this is happening, we think that Dobbs, as he's putting on corpse makeup and trying to embalm himself, it looks like he's failed.
Yeah.
It looks like he just died. And I think that may have been one of the original endings because, like all great horror movies, this has more than one ending. When I say great, I mean that, great.
Right.
The town meeting happens, and then all of a sudden, Dan goes back to the mortuary again, and we get what I call Dobbs's final stinger. Because Dobbs is not dead. He's actually looking pretty spry for just embalming himself. He reveals who Janet was stabbing in that video. In that film. That cell phone they were watching that video clip on. Mm-hmm. It was her YouTube channel. Janet's Greatest Hits.
Bam.
The whole time, Dan has been one of the people of the town that has been restored. As he sees his own dead body on the film, he screams, and we see his hands are all crunked up. Looks like he needs some lotion.
Definitely.
And Dobbs says that he can fix him up. And that's the end of the movie.
There's one more thing you should know, Dan. Come, Dan. Let me fix those for you.
So, yeah, as much as I love both endings, this is really clunky. Like, man, the whole movie's been pretty tight for the most part. This was super clunky. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they could have cut after he buried her, him stumbling back into Dobbs's funeral parlor.
Yeah.
And he could have discovered the end of the film on his own.
Exactly. And then looked at his hands and then,
Yeah.
So a little trimming would have been good.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think it's minor, I guess.
I swear I'm just nitpicking. That is like me forcing myself to find something wrong with this movie. Because it didn't make any money. I mean, only good movies make money, bruh.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. I've got some trivia about this film, which I will go into before we talk about how we liked this bad boy or not. This was released on May 29th, 1981. Like Brad was saying earlier, it didn't make any damn money.
At all.
No. This was released on VHS through Vestron Video in 1983, which is probably the best thing that's ever happened to this movie, as far as its distribution goes. This was produced by a company called Barclays Mercantile Industrial Finance.
Interesting.
Which sounds very promising, right? These are the people that made such huge money makers as Krull, which, as we know, saved the studio. I have no idea how much Krull made.
I love Krull. We watched Krull. It was the first time I had seen it since I was little.
Yeah?
And it was on Amazon. I think I rented it for like $2 or something. And I thought it really held up.
Awesome. I need to rewatch it. I haven't seen it since I was a kid.
Oh man, I loved Krull when I was little.
They also produced that multi-million-dollar unstoppable force, ladies and gentlemen, the Fabulous Stains.
Oh.
I mean, talk about literally dozens of dollars,
I think that's an Assassino favorite.
It's a great movie. It holds up, but yeah, cult movie. The distributors for this, a little more successful, were Avco Embassy Pictures, or just Embassy Pictures. These are the people who distributed Time Bandits, Brad's favorite Road Games.
Love Road Games.
Everyone's favorite, Final Exam.
Ooh, yeah.
They also distributed Escape from New York.
Wow.
Scanners. And Take This Job and Shove It.
Probably my favorite of the list you just mentioned.
Marketing for this film was great. You have taglines like, "The writers of Alien bring a new terror to Earth, a new dimension in fear." And my favorite, of course, "It will take your breath away, all of it." Which I don't know. Maybe let me do a different reading of that. "It will take your breath away, all of it." No, I'm doing something wrong there. So, director Gary Sherman wanted this to be a dark comedy and not a serious horror movie because he's crazy.
Yeah.
The film suffered a lot of interference from its financer, who bought out the first financer, and things got really screwed up. They wanted Gary Sherman to emphasize gore over comedy. So they added the killing of the drunk fisherman. They added the acid death. The death of the fisherman was originally an off-screen kill. They couldn't get Winston back, so they had to get another set of FX people in. That's why, it's not as good. But let's talk about Stan Winston for a moment here. His work in this movie, other than a few little things, is amazing.
Amazing.
Really good. He built the figure of George/Freddy, the one in the hospital bed, the dummy. Because they wanted the lifelike detail and they wanted the elaborate movements. So the dummy was rigged to give the appearance that is a real person. And that's why it makes the needle eye stabbing all the more startling.
Wow.
If you have a careful eye, you'll notice that earlier in the movie, the hitchhiker girl, who's played by someone named Lisa Marie, she was actually one of the attackers earlier in the film. Then her scene of her getting killed happens. And the reason that happened was because they did so many re-edits during the production, and so many things had to be rescheduled and reshot that they ended up making this mistake. So if you look for her, you'll see her before she's actually one of the townspeople.
Wow, that's awesome.
And if this was a Fulci movie, they'd just say it was genius.
They would.
Because she stepped through one of the 7 doors of death.
Bingo.
That's my trivia. Brad, how do you like this movie?
Okay, I like this movie. I saw the video case a lot when I was a kid at stores. I don't think I really saw it until I was an adult, though. And here's my theory for what it's worth on the film.
All right.
It is 90% American Fulci film,
nice.
10% The Fog. Let me tell you why. James Ferrantino, perfect analog to Christopher George or even David... Crap, his name just left my brain. The Beyond.
David Warbeck?
Thank you, Warbeck. Perfect analog of those guys. Could have been in a Fulci film himself.
Nice.
The Blue Fog, just like a Fulci film.
Oh, yeah.
Eye trauma in the hospital, just like Fulci. They go down into the basement even. It's good gore. So it's kind of like an American Fulci film in some respects. Maybe a City of the Living Dead analog.
Yeah.
The Fog stuff, you've got the coastal town, the group that's coming after people. But no, I think it's an outstanding, underrated horror film. Lisa Blount, like you said, we'd later see in Prince of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very well made. I know there's clunkiness at the end. I can't believe, surely it did not get a wide release to have only made $200,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that blows my mind.
Wild.
But no, I think it's really good. I think it's a great October Halloween film. Ferrantino, I think, does a really good job. He seems to be taking the role pretty seriously.
Yeah.
There at the end when he's screaming, when he's discovered that Janet is dead. Some good acting.
Nice.
I tried to sell it to Elizabeth as like an American Zeter, but then I didn't have enough to back that up. But no, those are my thoughts on it.
Nice. I saw this when I was very young. I don't know what year it was when my mom rented this, but this is one of the ones she actually rented for the whole family. So my dad, my mom,
wow.
My dad, my mom, and I watched this together. And I remember being very scared, very creeped out. I have a feeling this caused a few nightmares for me. but it was a film that I remember my whole life. Like, it just stuck out so much. So when this came out on DVD in 2003, 2004, I jumped on it immediately and showed it to Lieta because I just thought, well, this is so good. Mm-hmm. And then I forgot to watch it for 13 years. So when you picked it, I was like, yes! Like, it was like, this is perfect. So we've got truly shocking moments, a depressing movie, Lovecraftian elements because this conspiracy in the town, it's like, so good.
Yes.
Morbid like Fulci, like you were saying. Makes me want to watch The Fog. That was in my notes. For some reason, don't ask me why. Maybe it's the tone for some reason. It makes me want to watch Burnt Offerings too.
Really?
I don't know why. Stan Winston's effects are masterful. Other than that little meandering confusion at the end, I think this movie is almost freaking perfect. Yeah. I'm so glad he didn't get to make it a comedy. Thank goodness.
Ugh.
That would have been really silly. Last but not least, the snuff film stuff. Just, man, that gets into your head. It is so good.
Yeah, it does.
Wow. Yeah. So yes, folks, we are in amazement. Watch it. It's good.
It's real good.
You won't regret it unless you do. Then don't call us. You're a fail.
Yeah, it's your problem, not ours.
Just kidding. We want you to like everything we like, or else.
Yeah. It's why we're doing this show.
Yeah. Just trying to make people go see it in theaters so they can make back the other $2 million.
Yeah, really.
Is it too late?
Probably.
Before we get to the song contest, which we're going to have a Halloween spooky song contest, Brad and I have been working very hard on, I gave Brad this assignment months ago, and we have both written Halloween songs, so we're going to get to those in a minute.
Right.
But I want to talk about something that's a controversial topic. I want to talk about Halloween candy.
In the 1970s, rumors began circulating of children dying from razor blades and poisons in trick-or-treat candy. Parents panicked, and X-raying candy became a common occurrence on Halloween night.
All right, so when I was a kid, and you would run around to strangers' houses, and you would get all the poison candy and apples with razor blades in them. There was the candy you liked, like Smarties and peanut butter cups or Nerds, little boxes of Nerds. Then you get the candy that was terrible, like those little brown and orange, like toffee candies. What was that about?
Bullshit's what it's about.
Blech. I like Dum Dums. I liked getting, lollipops. That's a good candy. Little packages of raisins. That's a bad candy. It's like they say raisins are nature's fruit. I really like the whole hoarding aspect. Like, you learn to conserve as a kid. I would conserve it and I'd have it in my room for months, and all the really bad stuff would be left, Necco wafers. Ugh. Blech.
Ugh.
I know Lieta will defend Necco wafers, but did you have a proper jack-o'-lantern to carry candy in, or were you like me, where some years you just had a pillowcase?
Yes. Pillowcase most of the time.
Nice. Do you, as an adult, chow down on candy way more around Halloween time?
Yeah, typically.
Me too. We buy stuff to give out, but, it's, most of it ends up for me. And then we've been really good. We'll take it to work and, give all of our coworkers diabetes.
Yeah, I probably have the diabetes.
Do you guys ever get trick-or-treaters in your apartment?
No, negative.
See,
we turn the light out.
We encouraged it, and for years we never had a single trick-or-treater until we lived in an apartment complex that had lots of families, and we would decorate the shit out of the front door, and we had 10 or 12 trick-or-treaters one night. It was crazy. And there was only one time I thought we were going to get murdered because the kids were so old and they didn't have costumes on. I was like, this is how we die right here.
I'm all about the chocolate.
Yeah.
I don't like any kind of fruity candy. I don't like Starburst. I don't like Skittles. I don't like Jolly Ranchers. I don't like Nerds. I want the fun size candy bars, the M&Ms, money.
Give him
if
money.
You've got money. I'll take money. That's my jam right there.
Nice.
While you were talking about Halloween candy, I wrote a song.
Okay. Hold on. I'll accompany you on guitar. Hold on. I don't know how this is going to sound. We're going to try it. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll start. I'll accompany you.
1, 2, 3, 4. Halloween. Is your name Eugene? It doesn't matter. Candy will only make you fatter. Halloween. Witches' faces are green. But don't do blackface, because that could be misconstrued as racist. Halloween used to be about Satan, but now I'm raiding candy. Halloween.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. Your accompaniment really made it.
I want to hear Troy and Rod do this.
Yeah?
Get on it, Nashy Cast. All right. Here is the Halloween song I've been working on for months. Not for real. If you should go to a house that's haunted on Halloween, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. And then you will be a ghost. On. Halloween. Go to Halloween, son of a bitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a new standard.
And they said it couldn't happen. Then they said, no, it shouldn't happen. Stop it.
Hey, my first 4 lines were pretty good. Halloween, is your name Eugene? It doesn't matter. Candy will only make you fatter. The rest of it's not that good.
You used your time very wisely, sir. I love it. Love it.
Well, thank you.
Oh, my goodness. Folks, we hope you have a safe and happy Halloween.
Certainly.
Because
Halloween is one of the greatest things you can give to a child or a man in bed.
No, don't give anything to a child in bed. I'm sorry. Oh, God. You know what? Jeffrey would tell me to cut that part.
Oh, I don't care.
But you're not Jeffrey. You're Brad.
That's right.
Man,
Just do whatever you want to.
So good to have you back on the show, sir.
Man, thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed it. I've missed it.
You left a big hole in the show ever since episode 100. Episode 100.
This is like episode 122.
It's near there. I don't even know.
But I'll be back.
Brad will be back.
Brad will return in some other show about a movie.
Dude, don't scare everybody. That's chilling.
Sorry. Yeah, I know. I'll be back about a movie.
Yeah. Woo! I love it. Good night, folks.
See ya.
Remix.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Halloween. Is your name Eugene?
Halloween
used to be about Satan. Halloween. Witches' faces are green.
Halloween
is your name Eugene?
The Mole and Barber, Moldada.
Halloween
Hello, This is the Doomed Show is available at hellodoomshow.podomatic.com. For the old episodes, check out the archives at doomedmoviethon.com. To contact the show, email us at doomedmoviethon@gmail.com or at doomedmoviethon on Twitter. For more Doomed Moviethon goodness, also visit cinemasomnambulist.com.
Clytus, I'm bored. What plaything can you offer me today?
An obscure body in the SK system, Your Majesty. The inhabitants refer to it as the planet Earth.
How peaceful it looks.
Most effective, Your Majesty. Will you destroy this Earth?
Destroy it utterly.
Send Rick and Danny in Wool Rocket Ajax.
So, just destroy it?
That's what Ming said. Don't you ever listen?
Well, there's no arguing with Ming.
Hail Ming. Wait! You see those transmissions on the Visua screen?
Crow? Nightmare on Elm Street?
Chud 2? Black Belt Jones?
Nightbreed?
What's a critter?
Oh, I've seen those things.
Flash? I guess we could wait a while before the destruction.
Yeah, and watch the movies.
And talk about them.
The Hell Ming Power Hour. Disobedience to Ming. For now.
You can find us at Legion Podcast.
You can find us on Facebook.
iTunes.
We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram.
At You know what? Just Google it for yourself.
Just Google it, you bastages.
Hail Ming. Breaking 2? Electric Boogaloo?
Samurai Cop?
Army of Darkness?
Flashdance?
We might destroy the planet if it's Flashdance.
Well, hello, my dear friends. I am Baron Martino, and when I am not in Italy murdering beautiful fashion models, I enjoy hosting a little show called The Giallo Room. Giallo is basically the Italian word for yellow that often referred to cheap mystery novels with yellow covers published by Mondadori in the early 1900s. However, it later became the namesake of a notorious genre of films that peaked in the early 70s after Mario Bava, Dario Argento, Lucio Fulci, Sergio Martino, and many other talented Italian filmmakers introduced audiences to a new style of film that incorporated ornate cinematography, a pulsating soundtrack, beautiful female victims, and a black love killer, all together with a thrilling twist ending. Join me, won't you, as I share my unhealthy obsession of Giallo with you all in The Giallo Room. You can find The Giallo Room at youtube.com/c/The Giallo Room Show and facebook.com/The Giallo Room, as well as your closest participating adult film store. As always, my friends, grazie.
Hello, I'm Gore Blimey, and I'm your host on the Trilogy of Terror podcast. Each month, I'll look at one director and talk about 3 of their horror movies, kicking things off in episode 1 with Lamberto Bava, the man who brought us Demons. Now, the horror films might not always be scary, or even good, but, well, if that happens, what movie and pizza night isn't all the better for a bit of extra cheese? Come and check out the show at gentlemansgrindhouserecords.com or find it on iTunes and Stitcher.
The Trilogy of Terror podcast, where we try 3 times harder to give you the willies. 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 Willies.